It's Freestyle Friday!
Coming in hot with quick shots of inspiration on a variety of topics.
Okay, I am super excited for today's episode. One's going to be a little different, but in the best way. You've got Wade here solo in the studio, and I know I usually bring the more motivational, like Wade's must have just worked out, he's on fire type thing. I'm on fire today in a different way. I just got off a mastermind call and I feel in the highest frequency, the highest form of myself. You ever feel that? You know that feeling, those moments where you're like, I am my highest best self in this very moment. It's like, we can't always be in that, but how do we do things and gravitate towards that? Anyways, today's episode, I'm going to take you guys on a journey. This is like a story episode. This is going to be a thrilling ride. It's going to be exciting. And I'm going to chronicle my experience doing mushrooms, magic mushrooms, or plant medicine with some of my good friends and the intention there behind it and kind of where I used to be like, oh my gosh, I would never do that to now today and having done that. And, I'm going to go through a story. It's pretty cool, but kind of how I view it. Now, it was just a wildly amazing experience. And I don't even know where to begin, but that's what it was. It was an experience. This is going to be a fun one. And I'll throw the disclaimer out there. There's definitely going to be people, obviously, mushrooms are oh, it's a drug or it's a hallucinogen or whatever it is. If you don't want to hear this, that is totally fine. If it's against your beliefs, that's totally fine. I'm just going to go through. And the other disclaimer is, by the end of this episode, you're going to want to do magic mushrooms because you're going to think they have all the answers. I'm going to disclaim it. The answers are inside of you, and I'll get into that. But the goal of this is not to everyone just go seek mushrooms thinking oh my gosh, that is the answer. That is my magic pill. It's absolutely not. I think what I've realized is plant medicine can be really cool, but it can be abused like anything else too, because it kind of brings you into this different realm than you're used to. Not scary, just a different part of you, a different consciousness, a different time-space reality. And it is magical. It's amazing. But it also makes it easy to go back there and go back there and go back there. And I think it can be used as such medicine, but it can be abused if it's I want to escape my reality and go to magic mushroom land. And so I want to disclaim it. Don't just hear this and think, I got to go do it. All the answers to life are there. But, educate yourself, research it, explore it, talk to people who've done it. And if anything, definitely don't abuse it, right? But enough with disclaiming, enough with the intro, enough with all that. My experience, so I'll kick it off with the backstory. My friend Sean, shout out Sean. He wouldn't care if I shout him out on this. He's proud. I was actually literally just texting him. It was the universal frequency. I was literally sitting on the toilet, TMI, but I just installed this new bidet, Tushy, shout out, shameless plug. And I was all hyped to use it. And he texted me how you doing, brother? And I go, dude, crazy ESP. I literally was just thinking about you 5 seconds ago. I'm actually sitting on the toilet about to use our bidet for the first time. You guys are Wade is off to a wild, but is he on mushrooms right now? I am not. I'm high on life right now. But I was I'm about to record my journey through our spiritual mushroom experience before your wedding. So backstory, shout out to Sean. He's hey, I want to invite you. I'm getting married in a week. I really want to be intentional. I want to go within, go deep, have kind of a spiritual experience around stepping into that next chapter of my life. I want to go to Joshua Tree. I want to do mushrooms, but I want it to be not just a fun thing, let's go to Joshua Tree and do mushrooms. I want to be very intentional and a spiritual journey and a journey within ourselves. And I want you to be a part of that. I was dude, wow, I'm honored. That sounds epic. And I had done it with them once before maybe, but it's super light. It'd be having one beer instead of 12 beers. You can't really relate to that. But just where you get a little taste of it, but you don't get the full experience. So I was yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it. And I had a friend in town, Dave, who actually had used plant medicine before. So he's yeah, I'm down. So there was 5 or 6 of us that he kind of invited, and he created this space. And it was amazing because he was kind of the maestro, the orchestrator of it all. So we all go out to Joshua Tree. We're going to be there for a night. We're just there for a night. We're going for a weekend, 2 days, one night. And we get there and we go on a hike. And, it wasn't just all about mushrooms, right? Like that was the main, what it was centered around. But we get there, we go on a hike, and there's something about Joshua Tree, California. It's apparently an energy vortex because you're there and you feel a different energy when you're there. And for anyone who believes in astrology or latitude, longitude, or anything I'm not necessarily a professional on that stuff, but it hits different when you're there. There's a different energy in the air. And so we're on a hike and it was just amazing. In the sun setting, we go back home. You're supposed to fast a little bit. You're supposed to really clean your body of toxins before you do plant medicine so it can really take effect. So we were kind of fasting. I'm actually fasted right now. I love fasting. That's totally tangent, but I just feel my best. And until I eat, even if I eat healthy, eating kind of slows your digestion. Anyways, that's a side topic. Anyone who's out there is like, gosh, I want to feel great and get healthy. Hit me up on Getting Magnetic or Wellness of Wade. That's on the side, but I can help you. Anyways, back to the show. Still on the show. We were fasting and I didn't really know what to expect, how it was going to go down. But Sean's like, okay, I've gone through this once before, but I wasn't leading it. So I want to lead this one. I want to set the intention. What we're going to do is we're going to take this certain amount of dosage. They look like kind of just regular mushrooms. We're going to put it into a tea because tea in a certain, heat exposure unlocks it more, and we're going to sip it. But before we do that, we're all going to set intentions. We're sitting around this circle. It looks kind of like a kumbaya, like someone not doing mushrooms or a mushroom hater might look like, oh, of course. Yeah, look at them. They're kumbaya, sitting crisscross applesauce with pillows in a Joshua Tree, Airbnb with all the woo-woo stuff all around. Yeah, that pretty much sets the scene. Out in the desert sky, it's night has fallen. It's crystal clear. There's stars everywhere. We're in the energy vortex of Joshua Tree. We're sitting in a kumbaya circle, crisscross applesauce, bunch of woo-woo stuff around us. And we're about to set intentions, which is really cool. Because what I've realized, fast forward, but you can use mushrooms to go to a concert and it'll enhance your experience. It'll be really cool. Or you can use mushrooms as a spiritual guide, like we did tonight, in this experience, and set intentions. It's all the intention behind it, right? And that's life. You're about to go into an experience, set an intention behind it, because you will likely live out the intention you set. And if you lack intentionality, it could go any which way. So we set intentions. So we all sat in a circle, the 6 of us, and we first just journaled on our intentions, silently, little background music. And then we all shared it. We spoke it out loud. We declared it. And then the next person who went, they would say, this is Wade. Wade shared his intention on this, and that. Here's my intention, to kind of set it into stone. Really, really cool. So we set our intentions. We sip our tea with the mushrooms in it. And Sean brought a drum and he's an artist. Great. He's a musician. He's a Renaissance man. Shout out you, Sean. I'm excited for you to hear this. I'm hyping you up. But yeah, he was kind of the maestro of this whole experience. And he's playing the drums. He was even humming, chanting, singing a bit, all from things because he did his research on this. He's like, this is the amount we'll do that's appropriate for us. This is the heat it will be in. This is the music that will guide us. This is the chanting I'm going to do in the beginning. This is the place we're going to do it. Very, very intentional. So he starts chanting, singing a bit, doing those things. Really cool. And, mushrooms takes 20, 30 minutes to set in. And I'm going to go into that experience. First, I'm going to read my intention that I set. So this is before you take anything. Your mind is, in that kind of normal level consciousness. September 4th, 2021. Today, I'm in Joshua Tree. I'm with Dave, Sean, Lindsay, Clint, and Rachel. We just hiked up to a peak in Joshua Tree National Park. It was a perfect hike. Not too long, challenging and sweaty, enough, and great company. The energy of this place is cool. We're about to embark on a journey within via a mushroom experience we're calling a plant medicine ceremony. I'm setting intentions for this experience. My intentions are to explore and visualize fatherhood, bringing life into the world with Sandy, creating a legacy, exploring clarity around a few big moves we're making, including moving, business ventures, and investing. My intention is to explore and create a space for financial abundance, while also exploring what the true meaning of fulfillment is. I also intend to make a memory and experience out of this. I'm excited. So that was my intention. This is September. This is actually 2 months and a week before Cameron North Cridides was born. My daughter. She turned 3 months today as of the day of this recording. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with her. I miss her. That was my intention. We all went around and shared our intentions. We sipped the tea and you kind of go into it, 20, 30 minutes, and we lay down. The other thing that was really cool is Sean's like, okay, this is also going to be a silent meditation where we aren't talking. A mushroom experience lasts like 3-4 hours at the dose we were taking. And he's like, for the 3-4 hours, we'll all come out of it. You'll know when you come out of it. And he kind of set the stage. He was such a great leader in this sense. He kind of walked us through it, made us feel safe, comfortable. We were all doing it. He was doing it too. So about 3 or 4 hours, we'll all come out of it. And when we do, like our collected consciousness, we'll all probably come out around the same time. And we'll kind of be back into that normal level of consciousness. He goes, now, you can always step in and out of this experience. So while we're going to be quiet because it's going to get the best of it, if you start talking, your consciousness, your logic brain comes back into play and it kind of interrupts the experience. Sandy's calling me. I probably shouldn't pick up and tell her I'm mid-mushroom podcast. You know what? I'm going to do it because why not? It's our podcast. We can do what we want. Hey.
Hi, baby.
I'm literally mid-mushroom podcast recording.
Shit, okay.
And this is going to be on the episode.
Oh, really?
Kind of a cool wrinkle. All right, love you, bye. She also, might I add, was like, really? You're going to Joshua Tree to do mushrooms? Oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Have fun, boys' weekend. Like, yeah, I'll pick you up when you get back. Kind of okay with it. She always empowers me to do what I want to do, but like, she'll never stop me from doing something. But she's kind of like, I don't know if I'm crazy about that, and I'll get there. This, by the way, this episode is a full stream of consciousness. I journaled during this, and I'll get there, but this is just my brain going. There's not notes. Okay, we set the intentions. Oh, no talking, and that's going to set us in. Oh, Sean. So he's like, if you want to get out of it, so there's certain things like you're going to go into paths and on this spiritual journey, and if it ever, goes to a negative place or you get into a loop where you're in this negative loop and you don't want to be there, get up, go get a glass of water. He literally had things. He had like espresso beans. He had a little nicotine gum, tobacco gum, like little things that kind of charge you and energize you and pull you out. And I know people who haven't done it, which is most of you, are probably like, oh my gosh, are you going in this hallucinogenic world and you're seeing things and you're stuck there and you can't get out? No, you're totally going into this experience and it's all within. You're going within you and there's different level of consciousness. But guess what? What I realized, you can step in and step out at any moment. If you fully go into it, you're in it. But in any moment, if I want to be like, I'm out of this, I'm going to go walk outside and take my espresso beans and drink water and I want to go back to normal world, you totally can. So he said that and we're like, okay, this is really cool. If any of us are scared of like, whoa, what if it's scary for me? Then you can just totally step out of it. So I want you to know that too. You don't lose control. You don't go into this like hallucinogenic state where you have no control and you're there for 3 or 4 hours locked in. And then, oh my gosh, you come out like nothing crazy happens. Like it's not like that. It also, what I realized in my 20s, I was scared of this. I was scared of a quote unquote drug. I truly don't believe mushrooms are a drug. One, they're naturally formed from the earth. 2, I really look at it as more of a medicine or a spiritual guide. I know this sounds like crazy and woo-woo, than a drug. It's not a drug. You want to know the cool thing about it? When I drink alcohol, it's a toxin in my body. I get a hangover, right? Your body's giving you the hangover like, hey, you just threw a bunch of toxins in our body, and I'm going to make sure you feel that so you know when I trigger to you, this is a toxin. When I eat crappy food and I feel like crap, it's your body giving you the signal, hey, no, bueno, we don't like this. When you do a drug, that's usually what happens. There's a high from it. It hits a new neural pathway, and then you come down off of it. Want to know the cool thing about mushrooms? There's no like hangover come down. It's not a toxin to your body. It's a natural thing from the earth. And honestly, when I come out of it, it's the opposite of a hangover. I feel elevated. I feel a lightness, a new sense for life that I didn't have before, a new perspective. Not that it totally shifts who I am or anything, but it's like I come out better than when I went in versus I have fun when I'm drinking with my friends, and that moment and that high feels good. And then the come down, the hangover, the whatever. Anyways, that's something I'll touch on in the end. But in my 20s, I was scared. I was like, I need control. I'm not going to go take some quote unquote drug that I lose control and shift my paradigms and I look at the world differently and my ego's gone. Like, I'm cool with my ego. I like my ego. I like my life and my drive and all the things. I don't want to be a hippie. But guess what? You're also forming, your brain is still forming until like age 26. So that was actually my brain probably protecting me. Like, no, don't go do those crazy quote unquote drugs. Let your brain form its neural pathways. But guess what? My 30s, as I get a little older, become more open to it. Like, okay, instead of viewing this as a drug that I'm going to hallucinate on and I'm scared of it, my intentionality there's like, it's fear. I'm now open. Whoa, what if it's what, my friends who I respect said it was for them, more of a guide, an opening. So I chose to look at it like that. Anyways, let's go into the experience. So as you heard, most of my intention was around parenthood, fatherhood, bringing life into the world. So when I first go into kind of feeling it, you can kind of feel it. You kind of know, you're like, all right, I'm in it. And it's gradual. And Sean had this amazing musical instrumental playlist going. And so music and light really help emphasize and enhance and bring you through this experience. We had dim lit, like candle lit, and we had this amazing playlist going. It was like a vibration. So I'm going in my first experience, I had a lot of different realizations, experiences. So you almost go in and your tensions are, I'm looking for answers here. The whole goal of it is, let me go within because the answers are inside of me and let me pull them out. Let me focus on them and realize them. So my first experience, I go in and my first thing is I'm laying down and my stomach starts like pulsing, not in a scary or bad way, in just this vibration, this pulse. My abdomen are like boom, 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 like a heartbeat, but it's in my abs. And it's like, and I feel it so distinctly. And I'm like, whoa, what is that? Is this happening or is my mind making this up? I open my eyes for a second to check it out. And my stomach is like legit, like convulsing. And that convulsing sounds scary. In a good way, I promise it feels good. I'm like, something is happening here, but it's not bad. And what I realized where my brain went to next is like, oh my gosh, this is like my form of pregnancy. Now, for anyone who's been pregnant, I'm sure that's not what it's like. Sandy told me that is absolutely not what it's like. But that was just my body being like, this is you pregnant. And you're like, wait, this is getting crazy. What the heck is this all about? I'm just going to go through with it. So this is me then pregnant. And I realized that, and it's funny, I looked to my right and I had a water bottle there and it said core. And meanwhile, my core is just pulsing like wildly. It's like, oh, is that ironic? Yeah, that's cool. Anyways, so boom, 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 I'm feeling that. And then all of a sudden, I kind of segue and transition. I am now in the womb, not necessarily my womb, I don't know whose womb, but it's me in a womb. And I'm literally what is a technical term? A fetus? I don't know. I'm literally a little baby inside of a womb. And I'm like, whoa, this is pretty snug in here. It's warm. It's wet and liquidy, but I feel safe and comfortable here. Like I'm nurtured here. I'm cozy. I'm taken care of here. And it's warm and it's great, but it's tight. It's definitely snug. And then all of a sudden, I see this opening. I see this light. And I start to go down and towards it. And it's a birth canal. It's literally an opening and out into the world. And I literally go and I am birthed. And this is all me going through this. I'm birthed and I come out like a baby. Like I just went through that. And my realization there in that moment was, wow, us adults, we complain about our problems and we think life is hard and this and that. The hardest thing we'll ever go through is starting out as a sperm and meeting an egg and developing into a human inside of a womb for 10 months and growing from this little microscopic organism into this, 6, 7, 8, whatever pound human inside of another human. And then I come out of this little crevice. Sandy's always like, do you have to say crevice? Into this big wide world where all of a sudden I have to breathe air and there's light and there's all these things happening and sound. What is going on? Like nothing will ever be harder or more drastic or more changed than that. So my realization was like the hardest thing we'll ever do is the beginning of our life. Nothing will compare to that. That is wild. That's like the wildest thing. So when you're like, oh, I'm venturing into a business and new waters or that, or a new relationship, or I'm moving. It's like those are freaking easy compared to you being born. So then once I'm born, I have that realization. I'm now the father and I have my baby in my hands. I can't see if it's a boy or girl or anything, but one of my intentions, and Sandy's was like, I want you to come back and know the sex of our baby. Because we waited until birth to know if Cameron was a boy or a girl. And she was going to be Cameron either way. But then I'm holding my baby and my baby's on my chest and I get this just energy, this aura, and it is feminine and it was pink, and not to like do the generalization stereotype, pink is girl and blue is boy. But it was pink, it was feminine, it was strong, it was a strong energy, but it was a strong feminine energy. And the whole time I was like, I'm gonna have a boy, I'm gonna have a little me. His name, my son is gonna be Cameron. It's gonna be Cameron either way, but it's gonna be a son. And everyone else like, oh, Sandy, you're carrying high, you're craving citrus, old wives' tales. Like 95% of people is like, you're having a boy. Oh, I know it. And Sandy was like, I think it's a girl. Like, I can't say, I'm not like intuitively it's a girl. I just believe it's a girl. And a few people said maybe it's a girl, but like 95% were boy. So all of a sudden I go from like, I'm having a boy, firstborn son, to like, whoa, I'm having a daughter. Like my heart knew it. That was like a signal, as a spiritual guide in that moment. Like, here's you stepping into fatherhood. Here's what she's about to go through. And it's a girl and you're having a daughter. And I don't know if I was like recollecting literally my birth, like in going through that experience, or hers. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but it was really, really cool. From there, I'm trying to, like, I should have done this podcast like right after. We're doing this, 6 months after, 5 months. From there, it was just exploration. It was exploration of like those other intentions. So fatherhood, bringing life in the world with Sandy, creating a legacy, exploring clarity around a few big moves. You know what was so cool? I think what came next, if I can remember, is I'm laying there and it's really cool, and you're going through experience, and all of a sudden, like you're in this place. Okay, let me explain like how, as best I can, which is probably impossible in my now conscious brain to another conscious brain, but I'm going to do the best I can. Typically, we go through our day-to-day, we go through life, we're routine-based creatures, like we freak out without our routines. We wake up, we have our coffee, we go to work, we do this, we do that, and then we come home and we watch Netflix and we eat dinner. Like we're very like structured, and we freak out without it. And we operate in this consciousness, in this logic brain, in this conscious brain, in this, here's my perception of the world, here are my paradigms, and like I'm not changing them for no one. This is how my brain works. And we've, through our life, through experience, connected all these neural pathways in our brain, and that's just how we see the world. Our brain, our perception of the world is a result of our neural, connections and pathways that we've created in our life so far, and they can change. And you're in this like whatever time, like 24 hours in the day, minutes, hours, seconds, all the things. You take plant medicine, not that I've done others, but mushrooms, for speaking to this experience. And not that it's a different dimension, you go into a different consciousness within yourself. You realize you're like, whoa, my conscious and my ego are usually in control. Right now, they're not in the picture. My subconscious, my unconscious is guiding the way. I am going within. I'm leaving conscious reality, whatever, out of the picture for now, and I'm going within with the intention of going back to that conscious reality, but with newfound realizations or aspects of myself or insights into the world or what I want or different things. And it's a different time-space reality. It's not like I'm in a different, planet. Maybe if that was your intention, maybe you could go explore a different planet. You're like, I know I'm here on Earth. I know time and whatever's going by, but I'm in time and everything kind of stops in here. And you're like, I am here. I'm so present. I've never been this present. And I'm in a new time-space reality. And I'm in a different level. I'm in a higher frequency. I might be in the highest version of myself. That's up for interpretation. But it feels good. It feels really good to be there. You are free from the typical things you see as problems and shackles to your life and all the things. And you're like liberated to an extent because you just let your subconscious and unconscious take the wheel. And again, the mushrooms aren't in control. They let you tap into you. They let you tune in. So all of a sudden I feel like my body kind of moving and my hand moving. And I realize a bit later, like, I don't know how much time, who knows? You don't know how much time's going by. I realize my hand is on my journal and it's clasping it. And I have this call to me, this like pull to just open it. And so I open it and I start reading and I realize I just grabbed a random journal. This was an old gratitude journal from like 2 years before. It originally started as a leather-bound book I got. Sandy and I went to Switzerland when we moved from Boston to California. In between, we went to Switzerland and Croatia. We actually got engaged in Switzerland. And it started out as a journal, just our daily experiences, which was really cool. I wish I kept up with it because I read it. I'm like, this is amazing. And then it became a gratitude journal where I just journal what I was grateful for each day. And I started reading it. And this was my inner self, my highest self, right? Giving me that answer. The thing is, like, these answers come to you, but you realize they aren't from the outside world. No one else has the answer. Not some guru. Tony Robbins isn't going to come and give me the answer. Gurus, coaches, all those people that we think have the answers, if they're good, what they do is pull the answer out of you. You realize, through this experience, the biggest thing I realized is every answer I'm looking for and I want is inside of me already. And it's up to me to tune in and to go find it because it's there. And so this mushroom is a spiritual guide because it enables you to tune in. It allows you to get to that level of consciousness where you're now tuning into yourself in stillness, in meditation, in whatever. And it's a profoundly spiritual experience. I felt just in touch with my highest self. So I start reading my gratitude journal. And what is so cool is I open it up. This is going to sound crazy. I open it up. It's all hieroglyphs that are animated. They're moving. Like you watch the Discovery Channel, National Geographic, you see like the Egyptians and the hieroglyphs and the caves and the walls and the temples and whatever. It's literally hieroglyphs and they're all moving. So there's no English. I can't read a thing. But as I'd focus, a gratitude entry would be in English. Meanwhile, the rest of the page is moving hieroglyphs. Crazy. This is my conscious focusing on things. And I realized it was me expressing gratitude for things that I desired in my life, that I wanted to move towards, that I wanted to allow into my life, that I wanted to receive into my life. And it was like, I'm so grateful for our huge growing team of leaders that are impacting so many lives and changing the world. I didn't have that yet at that time, but I was expressing gratitude for it. And guess what? Reflecting, I was able to come back to, I'm like, this has happened in my life. I was grateful for the perfect home. I was grateful for incredible marriage with Sandy. I was grateful for us starting a family. I was grateful for all these different things. I was grateful for all the money flowing into my life. I was grateful for all these different things and some stuff that hadn't come to life yet. Us living in the Strand in Dana Point. It was expressing gratitude for all these things that I wanted to welcome into my life. And most of them had already come true. And it was just that nudge to me, that answer, that this is the answer, this is it. This is it. Express gratitude for what you are moving towards, for what you desire, for what you want, as if you have it and it is on its way to you. If you want it and need it and you're like, I need it, I need more money, I want more money. If you focus on the lack of it, the gap between where you are and what you want, you're pushing it further away. If you express gratitude as if you have it and you're grateful for it already, it's on its way to you. You're bringing it closer to you, and it's just a matter of time. So I had this realization, this is it. I'm reading through all my old gratitude journal entries, and it's the hieroglyphs are turning into, English, and I'm able to see these messages. And then my hand goes to grab for the pen, and I'm like, am I going to be able to write right now? Because while I can pop out of it, you're in this state of consciousness where I'm like, is writing a thing right now? Can I write? And at the time when I grabbed the pen and my hand started moving, I felt like I, Wade, in my typical conscious brain and self, am not in control. Some deeper level of me is in control. It's still me, Wade, but some different level. I'm not writing this. Like my hand is just moving and I'm coming from a different space. And when I say I mean my typical conscious logic brain is not the one in control here. And guess what? I'm writing and I cannot, it's hieroglyphs. I'm literally writing in hieroglyphs. So I have no idea what I'm writing, which is really cool because when I came out, I was able to go back and see what I write. And I'm like, is that going to be legible? Is it going to be hieroglyph chicken scratch or what? One of the things I wrote is I would just start circling gratitude entries and just saying, this is it, stars, stars, arrows, this is it, this is it, this is it. I'm so grateful for your beautiful smile because it lights up the world around you, especially mine. I was writing that to Sandy. This is it, this is it. It was expressing gratitude for Sandy. Like, this is it. The more grateful I am for Sandy and what I focus on, what I'm so grateful for her, I'm going to see that. If I focus on like negatives about her that I think, that I perceive, that's what I'm going to see and that's what's going to grow. Just like focusing on the gratitude. This is it. I would just be circling gratitude entries. This is it. This is it. I'm grateful for meditation. It centers me and prepares my mind for the day. Circling, yes, yes, meditation, meditation. I'm beyond grateful for the morning, for the birds chirping, for the sun coming up, for the day to slowly start. Circling, stars, early morning equals yes. That's like a sign for me, like, yes, you're meant to do things in the early morning. I'm truly grateful for our business, for providing an incredible opportunity. I'm beyond grateful for our thriving, growing team of leaders because together we are changing the world. We seriously are, and it's an us thing, not a me thing. We, yes, this is it, this is it. Gratitude for every day. Give it away first. I have all these stars, which I had no idea what I was writing. I couldn't even see it. Get back into this feeling. I'm so beyond grateful for what an incredible team of people we have because it's exceptional to see the community that is unstoppable. Get back into this feeling, circled, feeling. Feeling is everything. Thoughts need feelings. That was an entry I wrote. Okay, so I could say I'm grateful for this. I could say an affirmation. I could say I am a leader. I could say, I'm so grateful I am a leader. But if I don't feel it, it's not going to come to life. It's not going to, the energy behind it is everything. So when you're expressing gratitude, when you're manifesting, when you're doing a vision board, when you are focused on what you want, you got to feel it. That was a big realization for me. You got to feel it. I'm truly grateful for all the money we've received and all the money coming our way because we will use it to bless the world around us. Yes, this is it. Circled. Then I have an entry here, star. The answers are here inside. So all the answers, that was one of my biggest realizations of this whole experience. As humans, we're seeking answers. How do we be happy? Fulfillment? What is it? Like, I wish we think there's some esoteric, there's some like answer out there outside of us that someone else has. And if we just do the course or this or that, or like get the coach or someone else has it, what you realize is I have the answers inside of me. And like I said, good coaches, good courses, all those things are so helpful because if they help you tap into that and acknowledge that and pull it out of you. Everything you want and need, every answer you ever want, every dream, everything is inside of you, and it's up to you to tune into it. Most of us are in this busy go, the time, space, reality level of consciousness, and myself included. We operate in that space. If you can tune into you, and that's why things like meditation, like silence, like doing things that light your soul on fire, like a gratitude journal, like all those things are just tools to help you tune into you. I look back to my intention thing. Fatherhood is circled in bold. With Sandy is circled in bold. The word legacy is circled in bold. Few big moves is circled in bold. While also exploring what the meaning of true fulfillment is. Fulfillment, there's an arrow and a star that says inside of us. Fulfillment is inside of us. Oh my gosh, this was cool. Wow, okay. Next to that, star. Everything is a vibration. And then there was another one, like music is an energy. It's a vibration in its truest form. That's why we love music. Oh, I love this. I star. What are your dreams? ? Star. Ask Sandy what she dreams of. I'm going to ask her that today. When's the last time you asked your spouse, hey, what are your dreams? What do you dream of? Like, when I say dreams, maybe it's what you dream at night, but like, what are your dreams for life? There's a thing here, fasting. Fast more. Fast every once in a while. I'm actually fasted right now. I feel incredible. Leaders, be the leader. Money is coming. These are things I'm writing. The answers are written by me. Yes, the answers are in this 2-year-old gratitude journal. Oh my gosh. It said April 15th, 2023, speaking with Tony on a Tony Robbins gratitude entry. It looks like next April, I'll be speaking with Tony somewhere. That's going to be epic. Shout out you, Tony, whenever you hear this episode. Let's bless the world. Money is coming. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see what I'm seeing. Fast every once in a while. The Strand, it's happening. Four wide is coming. It's already here. We all come back into our reality just with an understanding of the pieces that put it together and make it one, and a knowing and trusting that it's all coming. Wow. So this was a question I had. I was able to like in this experience, like have questions and go within and find answers. So it's like, this experience is really cool. I feel like I'm getting answers, but like, how do I translate that back into the normal world, quote unquote normal world? I know I'm going back into the normal world. I don't want to always have to do mushrooms and tap into this. Like, that's not a goal of mine, just to perpetually have to go back into this level of consciousness via mushrooms, because I think that is abusing it when you're like just seeking that like, oh, I want to escape the problem world reality and get into this really cool magical experience. This was it. We all come back into our own reality. So we come back from this mushroom experience into our own reality. And the biggest thing is mushrooms aren't some drug. For me, when you're intentional and spirit, and it's this intentional about it, basically, you come back into your own reality just with an understanding of the pieces that put it together and make it one. So you come back into your reality, and what I could say is you have a different view or understanding of things around you and yourself and how all the pieces fit together. And you have a knowing and a trusting that it is all coming to you, that it is on its way to you. That segues me into my next one. I had a question. I'm like, who is God? Sandy and I are spiritual, but we don't identify like, I am this religion, I am that. This is my God. There's only this God. Your God's wrong. My God's right. That's not what we subscribe to. And my beliefs are like, whoever your God is, like, that's your God, and that's amazing. So I asked, like, who is God? And I don't mean to offend people here with this answer. I'm just going to read what I wrote. I don't even remember exactly what it said. I'm just going to read it. This was my experience writing. So I had no idea what I wrote at the time. My hand was just moving. And until I came out back into quote unquote normal reality, I was then able to read it. We are all, quote, God, end quote. It's a connected spirit in all of us. It's an energy, a frequency. All the answers are inside. They're already there. It's up to me to tune into them through breath, through stillness, through meditation, through going inside. The signs we need are all around us. It's up to us to open our eyes to them and tune into them. There's a balance between our fate and us picking up the pen and writing our destiny. Wow. I'm going to read that again, and then I'm going to break it down like how I thought about that. We are all, quote, God, end quote. It's a connected spirit in all of us. It's an energy, a frequency. What I took from that is we have God running through all of us. And during this too, what came to me was like, God, like love is God. Like God is love. Like when love is running through all of us, it connects us. And it's this spiritual, it's this connected spirit in all of us. That was like my answer to like, who is God? Like there is a higher power. We're all connected by it. And God shows up through things like love. It's an energy, it's a frequency. And I'm not even discounting different, belief systems in God. I believe all religions actually believe in the same, the one higher power, God. It's just, we have different perceptions of it. We have different stories of how God came to be, or the world, or all these things. And that's, I'm not trying to divide I think there's unity in that. So if you are like offended by that, that's cool. I'm speaking my truth and I believe in your truth. And I think we're speaking the same thing. Moving on to all the answers are inside. They're already there. That was my biggest realization. All the answers I am looking for inside of me, they're already there. It's up to me to tune into them. Then one of my questions was like, how? Is it only through mushrooms? No. Then my hand just is going through breath. Have you guys ever done breath work? You go within, you get still. It's a different plane of consciousness through stillness. Have you ever been still? Have you meditated? I have a goal to do a like 10 or 14 day silent meditation with monks where you literally can't speak, because when you can't speak, you're forced to be with yourself and your thoughts, and you really reflect. So through breath, through stillness, through meditation, through going inside, all the answers, they're there, but you have to go inside. When you live in the go, go, go state of consciousness, drive, achieve, this, that, busy, 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 same thing over and over and over again, you don't go inside. And that's why you're looking for answers and you can't find them, because you're looking in the wrong place. You think it's outside of you. It's within. You got to slow down and go within. The signs we need are all around us. Oh my gosh, Sandy and Cam just walked in. Hi, guys. You want to join me? Oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I think I just attracted
Hi,
that.
friends.
So I'm like in the midst of this. We're 43 minutes in. And
Wow.
we're probably coming, this might be an hour total, but I kind of just went through like when I asked, like, who is God? And then I'm on the part of like, my biggest realization was all the answers are inside. They're already there. It's up to me to tune into them through breath, through stillness, through meditation, through going inside. That was like the biggest realization I had. And then it was like, are mushrooms like the only way to get here? And it was no, it was through this stillness and how we live in this go, go, go world, and we're busy and we're this and that in this certain plane of consciousness looking for answers. But it's up to us to go within, because the answers are there. And then the next sentence was, the signs we need are all around us. It's up to us to open our eyes to them and tune into them. So when you're looking for something, Sandy always says this, when you're seeking something, it's seeking you, but you have to open your eyes to it. And then when you see it, you have to tune into that. There's a balance. This was another big one. I was like, am I in charge of my destiny, or is it like purely fate? Am I at the wheel at all, or is it like my life predetermined? That was like a big question of mine. And my realization, I wrote, there's a balance between our fate and us picking up the pen and writing our destiny. And my realization there comes back to my asking, like, who is God? Is that we are co-creating this life with a higher power. And whether that's God, whether that's your highest self or a different form of consciousness, yes, I'm in control by my actions and what I do, but there's also this higher being, whether it's my highest self, whether it's God, whether it's whoever, whether it's love, that I'm co-creating with it. So it's that balance between, if I do this, then I'm going to change my destiny and fate, but also there's that like higher power kind of guiding us too. I'm kind of just going through the journal and just the experience overall. I remember I came, Sandy picked me up, and at first she's kind of like, oh, you're going to do mushrooms in Joshua Tree? And she's like, well.
Not kind of. I was super judgmental.
Yeah, she was judgmental. Okay, thanks
But
for
I have
being
to
honest
explain
there.
myself, because I just feel like being a daughter of an addict, like I'm very careful with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like alcohol is as far as I'll go. And even that, I have to limit myself to like 2 drinks, because I just worry that I might have the same issues my mom has. So I came from the space of feeling like mushrooms were drugs, and like this is illegal and this is bad and this is going to be a gateway to other things, and just coming from a naive, like uneducated space, I guess. That's where I was coming from.
Totally. So that was her like going in, but Sandy always gives me freedom. She's like, I'll never tell you what to do. Like, you can do whatever you want. You know how I feel about certain things. And so when she got, she picked me up and was kind of like, oh, yeah, how was it? Like kind of annoyed type thing. We started talking about it. And I definitely like told her like, babe, we're having a daughter. Like, I know I got this. And I told her the experience of what I told you guys, that vibration, that strong feminine energy, that the pink, the aura. And that was a cool part. What'd you think about that? What'd you think about our ride home when I was talking about it?
I was annoyed with your energy, because you were like on a different level. I was like pissed that you left me super pregnant and like went on this experience.
One night.
I was just in the mood. But like I've heard you tell the story a million times now, and I can tell that you loved it, and anything you love, you should totally do. All I wanted to know when he came home, I was like, all I want to know is did you get clarity on if it's a boy or a girl? I don't know what Wade already told you, because I wasn't listening before
I told
this.
this story.
Okay, but I always thought it was a girl. My intuition told me it was a girl, and Wade thought it was a boy. And then when he said this feminine thing came around me, it was like kind of pink, but it was like this cloud, but it wasn't pink because it was a girl, but it was like feminine energy. And then I was like, okay, great. So it's a girl. Okay, great. So we're finally in alignment. That's like all I really cared about.
And here she is, like a physical manifestation. Like, Cam, I was writing about you in my gratitude journal, and I was writing about Sandy and our marriage and our family, and I was writing about these things before they were physically here. And now, like, it's crazy how it comes full circle. Like, Cam is in Sandy's arms. I'm holding her hand. She's holding my finger, and she's here, and she's a girl, and it's just wild. Like, and you feel like this higher power, higher sense of self. Like, there's so much more. We aren't just here to pay our bills and, die. Sandy's out.
I'm going to go change baby's diaper.
Okay.
But thanks for letting
Is
me
it a
pop
blowout?
in. It's a blowout. It's on my hands.
Oh, it's a blowout. It's on
Okay.
our
Love you
hands.
guys.
All right, we'll wrap it up here. But yeah, it was cool to reflect with Sandy, and I could see her opening up more. She's still not like, oh my gosh, I want to go do mushrooms, but I was like, okay, that's cool. And the coolest thing is you come out of it, and again, you come out like elevated. You feel this elevated sense of self from the experience, like that opposite of the hangover. And the cool thing is you get these answers, you get these realizations during the experience. And then I forget what Sean called it. Oh, the integration period over the next few weeks. They like integrate into your life, you're back into the conscious, the go, all the things like the logic brain, the reality. But these answers and that experience is integrating in your life. But it's up to you to continue to like tap into it and see it. And see the signs and go back to it and tap into it. And it was a profound experience. And that's why I believe like doing something like mushrooms and it comes from the earth. I realize it's not a drug. It's a guide. It's a medicine. It's medicinal. I think it could probably be used. And I know they do this like to heal a lot of things. A lot of like our issues these days stem from trauma, from experience. It's not like what's going on around us or what this or that. It's like trauma from our past. And it allows you to go inside of you, get intentional, get answers, unearth it, release it or resolve it and move forward. And so you create these new kind of neural pathways and you go back into the world with like a newer or different or fresh understanding, a more clear understanding of things. So overall, it was a magical experience. It was incredible. It's something that I would want to do often, but my then brain goes like, no, it's not something I should go back to very often, because if I keep going back, you build this dependency or this like, oh, I want to go get the answers from the mushrooms again. Like, oh, I need to, like, no, I got the answers. It's up to me to go live it, to tune into it. And so that's kind of where we're at now. Really cool. 5 months, 6 months later. And these things, the first thing, the biggest intention, like my daughter came into the world, I kind of had a good understanding of how that was happening and all the different things. And it's been a beautiful 3 months so far. And we've made a lot of business moves, and business is building and growing and surging, and leaders are coming into our life, and there's different things. And there are investment opportunities for me. And there is like this sense of legacy, this big picture, long-term, and all these things that I was getting intentional about are here. They're showing up, but it's up to me to tune into them and focus on them and be conscious of them and let my subconscious and unconscious and that co-creator, whoever that being is or whatever it is or whatever the energy or frequency is, like let the co-creator take the wheel while I take the wheel too. And if I could wrap it up, you might hear this and think, holy smokes, I got to go do mushrooms. I'm going to get all life's answers. If that's your intention, I think you will get some, but know that it's not like this magic pill thing, right? It's not this just like, if I just do that, I'll be happy. If I just do this, like I'll get these answers and I'll realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to be rich and famous. Like, no, you get answers and then you have to tune into them and then you have to allow them and then you have to do things like work towards them. Like everything takes activity still, but very cool experience. That was a long Freestyle Friday. That's a wrap. I'm not going to suggest do it or not. It's up to you. But if this intrigued you, I would say look into it. Talk to people who have done it. Do your research, not just like think it's my answer. It's my medicine. I'm going to go do it. Thank you guys for supporting the show. This was a different one. You're like, whoa, we usually talk marriage, love, business, entrepreneurship, like mindset. You're usually all fired up on motivation. Today you're fired up on like magic mushrooms experience and spiritual guides. That's Sandy and I's jam. Like that's how we roll. Whatever we feel will add value, we put out there. So thank you guys for supporting. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tagging us, for sharing our podcast with other people, for giving it ratings and reviews, like back into the conscious world. That is what our consciousness focuses on. Speaking of, there's a like collected consciousness in the world. And when that is divided and separated and segregated, it leads to not the most thriving, space and time to live in. So I think it's coming back to collected consciousness. Oh my gosh. You realize too, when you're on mushrooms, nature is like the smartest, has all the answers. When you go spend time in nature, you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. Versus like when you're at your desk under like iridescent lights and your shoes and your suit and whatever, you're like, I'm so disconnected from nature. I'm stressed. That was a side note. Anyways, thank you guys for your support. We love y'all. We'll see you next week. Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible.
So remember, you are magnetic.